honestly. my head is on, I don't even know where my head is. Like, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. I can tell you that for free. And I don't need that. Like, I have been run down the last 2 days because I've got the mother of all toothaches, like mental, literally keeping me up at night. That's how painful it is. And then I had to watch this shit team tonight serve up yet another Dross-esque performance. They're an absolute joke. People in the comments saying I duck cams. I didn't duck cams. I told cams I'm streaming on my channel. I don't have the time to jump on to FTBL. Yeah. I'll speak to cams another time. I'll jump on another time. But I said I was streaming on my channel. Right? I just come off the THFC show. So yeah, tell cams that and tell him to check his DMs. But everyone's saying hold that, hold that, hold that. Yeah. I'm holding it, man. And it's fucking painful. It's fucking painful. This wasn't a game where we, like, the theme of the Big Six in 2023 is you must, you must, you must. And we had to have won today. Yeah. Failure should not have been an option. There's no way on earth you should have been leaving that ground with anything less than a win. It should be us playing Blackburn at home. It should be us playing Blackburn at home. Can you imagine having to play Blackburn, a championship side, at home to secure passage into the League Cup semi-finals? Sheffield United are probably going to beat Blackburn and then they're going to get slapped silly by like a Man United or Man City. And yet we flop. Ten Hag has been here 6-7 months and he just knocked out Barcelona the other day. He beat Newcastle to win Man United their first trophy in how many years, and he's through to the quarters. But Spurs, who have literally been given one of the easiest routes to FA Cup semi, and you can't even do it. We had to win a trophy this season. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point in having an elite manager like Conte? What is the fucking point? What is the point? It makes no sense. Like, it is absolutely scary. Absolutely scary how bad this team are when you need them to deliver. Like, people will say, oh no, like, you shouldn't have rested this player, you shouldn't have rested that player. I'm sorry, there's no lineup. There's absolutely no lineup that should be losing 1-0 to Sheffield United. Do you know what it means to lose 1-0 to Sheffield United? It means that you've not been able to penetrate a championship defense. You've not been able to penetrate a championship defense. Deep that. Right? Deep that. You have not been able to penetrate a championship defense. How mad is that? How mad is that? It's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke. And what annoys me is there'll be no repercussion for this. There'll be no repercussion for this. There are certain men who played today that they will face no repercussion because there are no consequences for losing when it comes to Spurs. There's no consequences for losing an FA Cup fifth round tie. There aren't. There aren't. It's accepted. It's an absolute joke, man. It's an absolute shambles. Like this, they're a disgrace. They're actually a disgrace. My head is on Mars. Sheffield United. They're not even top of the championship. They're second. Sheffield United. Sheffield United. I'm going to speak on the manager. Oh, absolutely. I'm going to speak on the manager, but we can go through the players. Richarlison, Mr. 60 million man. Richie, I love Richie. Look how red my eyes are, bro. He was rubbish today. Absolutely crap. Rubbish. Played up top and offered us fuck all. And right now, he's looking like a flop. He's looking like a flop. I'm not seeing anything at the moment when he's playing for Spurs. This is not the same guy that I saw in the early parts of the season. But again, when you give a man next to no minutes and you just throw him in and expect magic, this is what you're going to get. It's not enough. It's not an excuse for him. It was rubbish today. Absolutely rubbish. Has to do better. Absolute shambles of a performance today. You can't even get shots on target. Link up play from the pits of hell, just offering us nothing. Nothing. Can't even occupy the centre backs. Nothing. Disgraceful performance. Son, disgraceful performance. Lucas Moura, probably arguably the best performer on the night of all the attackers. He was the best, which tells you everything you need to know. This scrub that shouldn't even be starting games. I don't even know why he's starting games for Spurs in 2023. Sarah and Højbjerg, like, what are they really meant to do in the two again? 53% possession, and we can't really break these teams down. Pedro Porro, headless chicken today, but got some technical quality. Perisic, rubbish, absolutely rubbish. I don't understand what has happened to this guy since the World Cup. Like, I get that you're old, but I don't, for the life of me, understand why you're so wayward in the final third now, let alone defend in defensive phases. This isn't luck. This is a bunch of underperformers being coached by a man who doesn't want to be here and is basically setting us up to fail. The defense, Davinson Sanchez is going to do what Davinson Sanchez does best, which is which is have a howler. But I can't really blame any of these players for Spurs losing today. I can only blame one man, and that's Conte. Genuinely, that's Conte. As bad as Richarlison was, as bad as Son was, as bad as the as the wing backs were in terms of the offensive contribution, I can only blame one man for today's loss, and that's Conte. That's Antonio Conte. He is the one that has to take blame. I've been saying this for weeks now. This Stellini Mason hype. They're doing exactly what Conte wants them to do. Oh, we wouldn't have won that game if Conte was there. Based off what? And I always have to ask the question, even in these wins that we've seen, I've not seen a different Spurs. I've not seen a different Spurs side. Oh no, give Mason Stellini credit, blah, blah, blah. They are carrying out Conte's instructions. They're carrying out Conte's instructions. So when people are telling me, oh yeah, no, you got to give them credit for what they did. We would never play like this under Conte. How? Based off what? What was so different in the Chelsea game to an Antonio Conte performance? It was still 3-4-3. It was still a dead first half. It was a much better second half. But is that not reminiscent of Spurs under Conte this season? Same for West Ham. Man City, oh no, but they beat Man City. Nuno beat Man City. Conte beat Man City last year. Sick to death of this. Oh, it's different. The only thing I'll accept is him not being on the dugout. Maybe even gives the players a bit more freedom to do what they need to do without fear of criticism or someone micromanaging them so much. But even then, he wasn't in the dugout today. And what changed? What was different? What the fuck was different today? What was different? I see no difference in how we played today to how we played against Leicester when he was in the dugout, to how we played against AC Milan. Yeah. Even Fulham, the game we won 1-0 against Fulham, despicable performance. Despicable performance. And same for Aston Villa. In recent months, we have seen this team get progressively worse. Right? They're scoring less goals and they're conceding more goals. It should be the other way around. How does that even make sense? You've got an attack of Kane, Son, Richarlison, Kulusevski, Danjuma, and even that scrubs, Lucas Moura. Right? How does that even make sense? How does that even make sense? The other day on the Big Sis, we were talking about Spurs. You must get top four. You must get top four. I agree. We must get top four, but I'm not convinced with the Spurs side. I said it back then. I'm not sure if we will. I don't care for fourth now, because this team at the moment do not give me the confidence to go ahead and finish fourth. Always top four. Always top four. Oh, from March to May. Oh, got to fight for top four. Got to fight for top four. How about you fight for some fucking silverware? How about that? How about you fight for some flipping silverware? You could not have asked for a better passage into the last 8. You couldn't. Man United had West Ham at home. Harder fixture. Man City had Bristol City away and they dispatched them 3-0. 3-0. Yeah. Fulham had Leeds at home. Do you get what I'm saying? You have been given Portsmouth at home, Preston away, and flipping Sheffield United away. You're given championship sides. I don't care who is playing. There's no way on earth Spurs should be losing to championship sides in a game that means this much. It makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense. And there's no accountability. Zero accountability. Yeah. The ownership have fostered an environment where, oh, we can get dumped out and embarrassed yet again by Sheffield United and not much else will change. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. It's a major, major joke. Let me just quickly go for some super chats. If you're tuning in, just smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, please. Mudit says, I genuinely believe this THFC side is good enough to win something with some luck. But now you have a manager that has no patience and wants out. TBG says, for your sorrows, buy a supermalt. Ha ha ha. Sheffield United and Grimsby are better than us. ICBA. I don't know. I think he's a Chelsea fan. It's just this. It's just pathetic, man. It's absolutely pathetic. Honestly, it really is. It really is. It's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. We could have played that game for 120 minutes and we wouldn't have scored. Let me read you this Sheffield United lineup. It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. Chris Basham, Ahmedho Zich, Jack Robinson, George Baldock, Ismaila Cheikh, Tommy Doyle, Andre Brooks, Ben Osborne, James McAtee, and like a 60-year-old Billy Sharp. How have you come away from this and you've not, forget about even losing, you've not even been able to score against this side? How is that even possible? How is that possible? Look at the statistics. 53% possession, 17 shots at their goal, 4 on target, 1 big chance in 90 minutes. I don't even know where 17 attempts came from, because that didn't feel like we had 17 attempts. There was no intensity in how we played. There was no incision in how we played. Everything was in front of Sheffield United. Everything was in front of Sheffield United. Absolute scrubs. Absolute scrubs. Like, I'm not even surprised, because this is a team that got knocked out by Middlesbrough. But like, when a defeat just brings out so much rage. This is it. I don't even get it. I don't understand it. How can you not breach Sheffield United? It makes no sense. But I want to talk about Conte, man, because he wasn't in the dugout today. Stellini and Mason were in the dugout, but like I've maintained, Stellini and Mason set up this team the way Conte wants. This is the way he wants to play. This is the way he wants to play. And as we've seen in recent months, it does not work. You'll get the odd win here and there. You'll get a couple of wins here and there. But in terms of the performance, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's an absolute joke. It does not work. 3 at the back today against Sheffield United. And even when you're 1-0 down, I'm still seeing 3 centre-backs on the pitch. I'm seeing attackers play wing-back. Like, people will take the piss out of me because of how much I wanted Conte. I rate Conte. This is no spring chicken. This is a seasoned vet. Like, this is a top coach. So I'm just distraught as to how bad he's performing. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, what? Even if you don't want to stay at the club, why can't you at least set up this team well enough to actually hurt teams? Like, the rage I feel right now about him and this team, I can't even describe it. Sheffield United, we would be playing Blackburn at home for an opportunity to be at Wembley and be in the last 4 of the competition, and now we're out. For what reason? Why have we not taken this competition seriously? Another race for top 4, and I'm meant to be happy with that. No, I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with that in the slightest. You're a winner, and yet we're losing games that we should be winning. Sacked Pochettino and brought in a short-term manager. Didn't win anything with him. Then wasted time, effed around and got Nuno. Got in Conte, didn't buy into the manager 100%. But now it looks like we're not going to win anything with him as well. What is the point? What is the point? It's just a shambles, man. Like, and I was just discussing with Fred on the THFC show, like, saying I want Conte gone isn't just based on tonight. This is weeks and even months of evidence to point to the fact that Conte simply doesn't have the appetite to do the job required anymore. Yeah. The tactics are the same no matter who we play. No matter the flow of the game, the tactics are the same. They rarely change. 3 at the back, wing backs, 2 in midfield, 3 in attack. We could be 3-0 down and he'll keep that same shape and formation. We have 6 attackers. 6 attackers, and the only way in which we can see more than 3 on the pitch at the same time is if one of them plays wing back. That doesn't make sense. Do you know how much I wanted to win? I was saying it to Lee today. I was desperate to win today's game. I want to go and watch this team play at Wembley. I want to see this team lift trophies. Forget about all the stick from opposition's fans. It's just personal happiness. I'm not satisfied with seeing us fight for top four every year. Top four that should be the bare minimum this season after getting it last year with a weak squad. It should be the bare minimum. Fuming. We had to win today. We absolutely had to win today. Sheffield United. Sheffield fucking United. It's a disgrace, man. It's an absolute disgrace. And with Conte, he has to go. My issue is now, like, it's not even, oh, should we sack Conte? It's he has to go. But who do we bring in? Who do we bring in? He has to go. He absolutely has to go. When you cannot break down a championship defense with the plethora of talent that we have, there's a problem there. People will say, oh no, Richarlison was terrible today. He was crap. Okay, cool. When Harry Kane came on the pitch, how many chances did Spurs create for Kane? How many? He came on the pitch 65 minutes, so that left another 25 minutes plus injury time. How many chances did Harry Kane get on the football pitch? How many? How many? Richie didn't come on until like the 80th minute against AC Milan. How many chances did we create for Richie and Kane in that game? How many? Like, we know that Spurs have some poor players. We know that. But we are not so bad that we can't lay a glove on this Sheffield United defense. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. Because I saw a worse version of the Spurs side under Jose go to this ground and beat them 3-1. It's a disgrace, man. It's an absolute disgrace. And the setup is hindering Spurs. It's limiting Tottenham. It's limiting Spurs. It's limiting Spurs. And that's on Conte. He has to go. He has to go. Today, we see 3 centre-backs stay on right up until the end. Why? Why? I'm seeing Kulusevski play right wing back. At times, it felt like Perisic was the one that was further forward and Son was the one that was playing a wing back role. Why am I seeing that? I don't get why I'm seeing that. Gary Neville went on the overlap a couple of weeks back, or was it Monday Night Football, and said he doesn't understand why Spurs fans are angry. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. No, that's not true. On paper, yes. But in reality, no. These performances have been ongoing for months now. How can you not break down Sheffield United today? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Against Leicester as well. Leicester, I said it in my post-match for the Leicester game. That's one of the worst defenses in the league this season. Man United hit Leicester for 4. Okay, granted, they were under the cosh in the first half, but they hit Leicester for 4. Even Aston Villa breached that defense despite losing. Arsenal went to Leicester's ground, and Leicester had like 0.01 XG against Arsenal. So when you compare to Spurs, not only did we not find a way to penetrate that defense in open play, but we allowed them to score 4. And you still don't change. You still don't change the way you want to play and set up the team. It's an absolute joke. Fulham, we beat Fulham 1-0, courtesy of a really good goal from Harry Kane, but we didn't create shit that game. Did not create a thing. Didn't create anything. Aston Villa barely created a thing. Arsenal, it's only once you're 2-0 down that you wanna create. It's a joke, man. It's a joke. I don't think you can underestimate how bad a job Conte has done this season. So before the start of the season, we were talking about how formidable this attack should be, because towards the back end of last year, this attack was scoring goals for fun. Yeah. Scoring goals should be the easiest thing that this team can do. We already know that this team can't defend, and we already know that this team are hamstrung in terms of what the midfield can offer, because we have a certain profile midfielder that may not be able to carve teams open. But the one thing you expected is that the attack should be able to function well. Richarlison has been shit in recent weeks, but he's not scoring. Son, he's not really scoring. Don't care about the fact that he scored against West Ham. He's not really scoring. Kulusevski's gone off the boil a little bit, right? Harry Kane is the only one bagging. The only one bagging. And even him, it's not like he's getting chances week in, week out. Danjuma, you brought in this guy. You hijacked this guy off Everton. I said at the time, you hijacked this guy off Everton and you give him no minutes. I'm seeing Lucas Moura start today. It makes no sense. When you actually break down the decisions that are being taken by Conte, it doesn't make sense. No sense whatsoever. No sense. What's crazy to me is Danjuma is a dribbler, right? He's probably the only player in the team whose forte is disrupting deep blocks with his dribbling. And yet he doesn't even start. And he comes on with, I can't even remember how many minutes to spare, like 5-6 minutes to spare. And Kulusevski goes into wing back. It doesn't make sense. Stupid decisions. The attack is faltering. The squad has been badly mismanaged. I can talk about how shit Richarlison has been. He's been poor. And Richie's got a hold that. Right now, he's a flop. But can you really look at me? Can you really look me in my eye and tell me Richarlison's been managed well enough by Conte? He hasn't. He hasn't. He's played 90 minutes once since the resumption of the Premier League. Since the resumption of the Premier League post World Cup, he's played 90 minutes once. Once. He's played more games on the right wing than he has in the central role or on the left wing. When Son plays, Son has been pathetic. Absolutely. Son has been absolutely pathetic. But why am I seeing Son come deep to get the ball? Why am I seeing Son's game sacrificed for Perisic, who is offering Spurs nothing? And you don't change. You don't change anything. You don't change a damn thing. The midfield with Sarr and Skip, these guys barely had a sniff up until recently, and it's only because Bissouma and Bentancur are injured that they're playing games. Højbjerg will never get dropped. Don't understand it. Will never ever get dropped. Makes no sense. Højbjerg is not that good that his place should be untouchable, and yet under this manager it is. Why? In the summer, you bemoaned the fact that you didn't have a squad big enough to call upon last year. That's what the complaints were. Didn't have a squad big enough to call upon last year. That's why you didn't really want to make changes, etc., etc. You now have a squad. Okay, it's not perfect. It's not Man City. It's not Barcelona. But you have a squad with capable players that can come in. And yet you don't use them. Like, people aren't deep in this Moura Danjuma thing. Lucas Moura's contract is up in 3 months. Lucas Moura has been injured for like 90% of this season. He has no business starting, even coming on as a sub, let alone starting a Spurs game in 2023. And he starts ahead of a man that you poached off Everton. Danjuma, pointless signing. We needed to sign defenders and creative mids. I feel sorry for the guy because I knew what was going to happen. He's not going to play. If Conte won't even play Richarlison, the 60 million man that he was begging for in the summer, what hope does Danjuma have? No matter who we're playing, three at the back, three at the back, three at the back. What is the benefit of playing three at the back now? There's no benefit. There is no benefit to playing three at the back. Spurs are conceding goals week in, week out. The only games where we've kept clean sheets are in games where we've been fortunate, i.e. Fulham, right? Or games where the teams are outright toothless, i.e. West Ham and Chelsea. Man City is the exception. But even taking Man City's point on board, that was a good defensive performance. But we have the capacity to beat Man City. We did so last year. I am not seeing a team that are able to consistently defend well as a unit. So then why am I seeing a three at the back? It's not working. It doesn't make sense. Like I've always said, like the end of a manager is near when you can no longer make sense of the decisions. You can no longer make sense of the decisions. And I can't make sense of what this guy is trying to do on a football pitch. It doesn't make sense to me. It makes no sense. Absolutely made a dog's dinner of this squad. Making it look like this is the best that Spurs can churn out. It's not. It's not. I don't want people to come out and focus on the players. Like, I get it. We had poor individual performances tonight, but fundamentally, we could not score in 90 minutes against Sheffield United. We couldn't score in open play against an out of sorts Leicester team. We couldn't score against Aston Villa at home. We couldn't score against Arsenal at home. We couldn't score against one of the worst defenses in Europe since the resumption of the top flight leagues after the World Cup in AC Milan. We couldn't score. One of the most meaty AC Milan performances I've seen. And they could have hit us for 3 goals. We look blunt. It doesn't even make sense. They had an attack of Leao, Giroud, and Brahim Diaz. We have an attack of Son, Kulusevski, and Kane. And they're the ones who look more likely to score. That doesn't make sense. Like, I'm actually baffled. I'm at a loss for words. How is that possible? That's why, as poor as Richarlison was, as crazy as Davinson Sanchez was tonight, yeah, as shit as Perisic was, I'm looking firmly at the manager. Because this is not the first time this has happened. This is now a trend. This is now a trend. When you give Spurs more of the ball and ask them to break down even the most mediocre of deep blocks, they struggle. They absolutely struggle. And that struggle has to be put at the manager's door. Has to be. So Conte has to go. But I don't know who's gonna come in. I don't know. I can tell you this for free. I categorically do not want to see Ryan Mason in the dugout for Spurs. I don't want to see that. He's shit. Rubbish. No credentials. I don't want to see him managing Spurs. I don't want to see anything like that. I want to see a club be sensible, right? And acknowledge that this is a man who doesn't want to be here. And on top of that, is performing badly at his job. And his contract is due to expire in June. It makes sense to sever ties now and salvage what's left of this season. But even then, what's left? Top 4? Yay, top 4 race again. Top 4 race again. This FA Cup, I'm not sure if any of you lot tuned into my stream with Lee this morning or afternoon, sorry, but I was desperate for this. I was desperate, absolutely desperate for Spurs to progress here. Desperate. I've been to 2 cup semi-finals. I've been to watch Spurs in 2 domestic cup semi-finals. Chelsea in 2017 and Man United in 2018, and we lost both. I only know feelings of a loss when it comes to cup semis and finals in recent years. I want to taste victory. And we will never taste it with this board. We will never taste it. Failure is acceptable here. It's all right to go out of the FA Cup. Nothing happens. Only the managers face repercussion. And even then, do they have the cojones to sack Conte? I don't know. But only the managers face repercussions. Nothing really happens to the players. There's no drastic consequence. And there should be. There absolutely should be. How can Sheffield United and Blackburn be in the last 8 of the FA Cup, but you're not? It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. Ten Hag has been here 6 months or 7 months, whatever you want to call it, and has already won more than Spurs have won in the last 15 years. It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute disgrace. Sam sends a super chat. Sam, big up Sam. He says, theoretical. You've been given the keys to clear out players and staff. You go through with it. Who's left at your club? Get rid of Conte, get rid of Stellini, get rid of his backroom staff, get rid of Ryan Mason, get rid of Sanchez. So players, Sanchez has got to go. Lloris, make him a coach. He can no longer play for Spurs as a starter. Tanganga, loan him out. I would sell Dyer. I would sell Davies. I would not renew Longlay's loan. Yeah. I would get rid of Lucas Moura. Get rid of all the squad players out on loan. Winks, Ndombele, Lo Celso, even Reguilon. In fact, you know what? I might even keep Reguilon. I would cut my losses potentially with Perisic. But he's only got a year left, so it's whatever. And Destiny's coming in the summer. I might sell Reguilon. I would definitely sell Sessegnon. I would sell Emerson Royale. I might even sell Højbjerg. I might even sell Højbjerg and bring in someone else. I would probably sell Son for the right price. There's so many things I would do. So many things I would do. And it's not going to be done in one window. It's a gradual thing. But there has to be repercussions. There has to be repercussions. I don't understand why we just decided that we're not going to win anything this season. Why? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like, why is this acceptable? Even if Spurs finish top 4 this season, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be satisfied with that. That's not enough for me. I'm sorry. People can call me entitled, etc., but that's not enough. That's not enough for me. It's not enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. You had Nottingham Forest to play in the League Cup, and you get dumped out. You have Sheffield United to play in the FA Cup, you get dumped out. We have been gift wrapped the worst version of AC Milan in about a year, and we'll probably get dumped out as it stands now. This is not on. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. It's absolutely not acceptable. It's a fucking joke. Like my head is actually still hot. Like, how do you lose today? How is that even a possibility? I couldn't even tell you the name of the guy who scored against Sheffield United. I couldn't tell you. It's a fucking joke. It's a joke. And people are telling me that this was Sheffield United's B team. I wouldn't even be able to tell you their A team right now. Who do I know from Sheffield United? Sanderberg, Ollie McBurney, Basham, O'Connell, and Rian Brewster. I don't know anyone else. And we lost to this team. We lost to this team. And it's just going to be, back to the drawing board, or some half-ass open letter to the fans with some nonsense. No serious repercussions. But it's all right. Once you fostered an environment to lose, once you fostered an environment where losing is acceptable, this is what happens. I would swap the champ. Genuinely, Having seen how shit we've been this season, what was the point in getting Champions League last year? I would genuinely swap the Champions League for qualification in Champions League for FA Cup. I would. Because what's it led to this season? What's it led to this season? It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Anyway, smash the like button and subscribe, people. I'm gonna be gone soon, man. But Conte has to go. Like, I need you lot to give me names. Like, who comes in? My friends are telling me we need to bring back Poch. We need to bring back Poch. And I want something new. I want something fresh, like brand new. This club needs a total reset. Reset in terms of a new voice. Reset in terms of the culture at the club, and reset in terms of their ambition. It needs to be your ambition to win. To win. Not just to compete, not just to get top four, not just to be in the green year on year. It needs to be your ambition to win. So that nights like tonight cannot be acceptable. As it stands now, nights like tonight are a norm. Spurs fans and even rival fans can reel off the nights that we've had like tonight. Middlesbrough last year, Colchester a couple of years ago, Nottingham Forest this season, Dinamo Zagreb 2 years ago. Do you get what I'm saying? Portsmouth back in 2010 with Harry Redknapp. Ghent in the Europa League under Pochettino. Years and years and years of seeing this club lose. And we fostered an environment, not we as in fans, behind the scenes, the ownership, fostered an environment where this is acceptable. It's an absolute joke. It's a shambles. It's a shambles. Another trophyless season. But anyway, my friends are talking Poch, and I want a fresh start. I'll be real. I want a fresh start. I want a new manager who's never managed at our club, but is an up and coming over Poch. But I won't even lie to you. If Poch is brought in, I'm not going to complain. I think it's a safe option. I'm not going to complain because at least we've seen what Poch has done at this club before. My preference would be for something new, but I've got a lot of respect and time for Pochettino because he's actually come here and he's done the job with less resources than managers get now. That's one option. That's the safe option. But who else is available? De Zerbi at Brighton. How much is it going to cost to get him out of the contract he's on for Brighton? Are they really going to lose De Zerbi at this point in the season? I doubt it. It's just not enough, man. Tony Starks, thanks for the super chat. He says, we want to be big dogs and hire big managers, but a serious team would sack him for this result. Like, what the fuck? I agree. I fully agree. I remember when Jose got 3-0 by Zagreb. There are such things as sackable. That's a sackable offense. Today is a sackable offense, genuinely. When you deep how badly the team has performed over the past couple of months, and deep the fact that Conte is not even going to be here in the summer, why is he still in the job now? Problem is, they haven't even fought. They probably haven't even fought about sacking him. People are saying Schmidt at Benfica, Bruno Ruben is that Amorim at Sporting Lisbon. I don't watch any of these managers, so I'd have to read up on them. No evidence that Poch can do this again in the most competitive. Listen, I agree. I don't think there's evidence that he can do it again, but I'm saying that there's evidence that he's done it in the past with Spurs. It remains to be seen whether he can do it again. But what I'm saying is Poch would be the safe option for the ownership. He would be the safe option for the ownership. And when you look at the type of manager he is, he's probably more suited to this squad than Conte is, in a sense where you've got a lot of emerging young talent that need to be unearthed and need to be developed, etc., and need to be rotated. Conte doesn't have the appetite for any of this shit. whoever it is that comes in, it needs to be someone that's competent. Because right now, the job that Antonio Conte is doing, you can't even call it competent. It is incompetence. Some of the decisions that we're seeing, you can't justify them. It's just a mess, man. Ino says the arrogance and complacency of the Spurs board, their manager and their fans is why they are where they are. I'm not really sure why you'd think the fans are to blame for where the club are. The fans don't have a say. What say do we have in the decisions the club makes? Mother effers are just happy to finish above Arsenal. I can promise you wholeheartedly, the Spurs fans I know, that's not the case. That's not the case at all. We want real change. Tony Stark says, big up for the super chat. He says, 4 shots on target against their B team, 200k a week for Son to lose every ball played into him in his feet. This man can't coach, attack, or defense. Spurs are leaking goals. What is the benefit of playing this formation? Oba1 Chelsea fan says, you must win a Cup Champions League or bust now. Oh, you must win a Cup Champions League or bust, bruv. Pot kettle. Man's talking to me about must when you've got a £600 million squad. You can't even beat this Spurs team. My friend, please go eat some matcha and call it a day, man. I know what we must do, but you got bigger fish to fry, mate. Yeah. Super chat from Turkish Finito. Absolutely. I don't know if he's referring to me or referring to Conte, but yep, it applies for both. Finito. It's ridiculous. Look at just even the Formula One announcement the other day. Like, in any normal circumstance, that's not a bad thing. The fact that you have a club who are able to generate more money for their club when the team are not using the ground for football, that's not a bad thing. But why did it get such bad press? Because when you have an ownership that care more about making as much money for the club instead of using this money to build a team that are capable of winning, you're going to have fans with negative thoughts on something that is actually a net positive. It's a shambles, man. It's an absolute shambles. It's an absolute shambles. One sec. Such a joke, man. Sorry, I just checking my phone. Usama says, not a Spurs fan, but would you take Stellini as interim while the owners look for? Bro, Stellini is a disciple of Conte. What's going to change? Genuinely, what's going to change? What is going to change? Stellini is a disciple of Conte. Where is this evidence that Stellini is going to do a better job than Conte? What's the evidence? Oh, because he won like 4 matches. Well, he lost one today. Now what? He lost one today. Genuinely, my head is so hot. Oh, my days. Sheffield United. 4 shots on target against Sheffield United. 1 big chance created against Sheffield United. Championship team. Man United, a tired Man United who played a cup game on the Sunday against a resilient Newcastle side, dispatched West Ham at home. And we can't even dispatch Sheffield United away. It's a joke. Arsenal played Everton at home and blammed Everton out of their socks. Even Liverpool won. I thought they were going to draw today. Even Liverpool won. They beat Wolves 2-0 fair and square. but you can't beat Sheffield United. Of all the Premier League teams Spurs that played tonight, Spurs probably had the second easiest game after Leicester at home to Blackburn, and you've lost. An utter disgrace. Utter disgrace. Oba one, a starving kid telling a fool when we have bigger fish to fry. You need our fish. Our bellies are full. We can chill for a little. Bro, you can do what you want, mate. You can do what you want, mate. You can do exactly what you want. But when I'm seeing all these Chelsea spaces and I'm seeing how hot your heads are, it doesn't look like you guys are chilling. But I ain't about to throw stones from glass houses. When I criticize you, I also criticize Spurs. As bad as Chelsea are, they've won. They've won. We have won. Fuck all. It's a joke. I don't even know what more to say on this, man. He needs to go. Conte needs to go. And we need to bring in someone who's competent, someone who can actually, that we can actually build a new project around, someone who can actually integrate some of the younger players that we have into the team and actually make the team better and get the best out of every individual in our squad. Ten Hag's making him look like a rookie, like a fucking rookie. It's mental, man. It's mental. I'm gonna end the stream now, but thank you a lot for tuning in. Yeah, people I just see this from Tony C. Potter is actually the perfect fit for Spurs. Not anymore. He's gone to Chelsea. Fuck that. I don't want any more Chelsea managers. I don't want any more Chelsea managers. Joel with a super chat saying United playing 2 games a week with little rest. Exactly. And they're getting the job done. They're getting the job done, but we can't. Absolute joke. Anyway, people, I'm going to end the stream. Just, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you ain't subscribed already. This team, they're a bunch of losers. And the manager, who's meant to be a born winner, has let us down and let me down. He must go. Has to go. Take care, folks. Peace.